All right, what is up? We are live. Duel number one is, of course, won by one. Tyler Reddick made the right move at the very end. The Hendrick guys, I guess, once again did not want to work with each other. But Tyler Reddick's the win. Chase Elliott finished the second. Alex Bowman third. Carson Josephus finishes fourth. Good run for Josephus there. Eric Jones finishes fifth there. Continuing to lead, other than Tyler Reddick, but continuing to lead the other Toyotas. Daniel Suarez, number six there. Joey Logano, Ty Gibbs, Kyle Larson, Chris Buescher, Ross Chastain. Jimmy Johnson gets in by the skin of his teeth there over J.J. Yaley. Ryan Priest below Jimmy Johnson. Martin Truex Jr. 14th. Corey LaJoy 15th. J.J. Yaley 16th. Ty Gilliland 17th. Austin Dillon 18th. Anthony Alfredo locked in on speed finishes 19th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 20th. And Daniel Hemrick rounds out your last place there. And of course, like I said, the man going home is J.J. Yaley in that one. Had to feel for him. Obviously didn't get any practice time with that team or any like sit down time, just anything. Basically, you can tell he was called in there last minute, and even called in there last minute still almost gets that car into the race. There was a little bit of a wreck in that one, but nowhere near the type of wreck that we had in the second duel where Christopher Bell wins. Austin Cindric finished the second. Austin Cindric wanted to go a little bit earlier than Harrison Burton did. Maybe if he stays in line and moves when Harrison Burton wanted to move, maybe Harrison Burton and Ford get this win. But Christopher Bell takes on the win. Austin Cindric second. Denny Hamlin third. John Hunter Nemechek fourth. Good run for Nemechek there. Harrison Burton brings it home fifth. That'll be some good momentum for him. I feel like he needed a good run, even though this is just a duel. Also, good run for Zane Smith, Brad Keselowski, William Byron, Chase Briscoe, Justin Haley 10th, then Bubba Wallace, Kaz Grala, who is punches himself in on speed. The 36 does. AJ Allmendinger in 13th. BJ McLeod 14th. Just missed it. Man, BJ McLeod putting on a show early in this one, and I could not quite get it done. But he said he's pumped up about it. He knows what his team can bring to the racetrack now, even though they only got 9 employees. So he was in a positive mood after this, although it's got to be heartbreaking to miss the race, knowing he raced so well. And if it wasn't for that big pile up there. But anyway, let's get through this before we talk about that. 15th for David Reagan, 16th for Michael McDowell, 17th for Josh Berry, 18th for Ryan Blaney, 19th for Kyle Busch, Riley Herbst 20th, and Noah Gragson 21st. Of course, the last 10 or so drivers there in that one were all involved in that wreck, probably from Michael McDowell down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 drivers didn't finish all the laps in that one. And of course, that big wreck caused by basically just plate racing. I mean, was it a late block? Was it not a late block? But still, there was a lot of room there. To me, it's just one of those restrictor plate deals where Brad Keselowski was pushing, Kyle Busch was trying to check up because the 24 was slow, and really just a restrictor plate deal. But definitely unfortunate because it took out a lot of really good race cars, a lot of really good drivers. Ryan Blaney took a lick there, so I definitely feel it for him. There is a poll question up. Who has the fastest car this weekend? 27% saying Chev. Ford is 20%, and the Yoders 47%, and whatever BJ McLeod was driving, which is the correct answer, is at 12% right now. That changed up while I was talking about it, so that's why the percentages don't add up correctly. All right, let's see what you guys want to talk about. Shah says Yoda's apparently in between the lanes. What's up, my friend? Big wreck in duel number 2. Yeah, that wreck in duel number 2 was crazy. Duel 2 putting Shah in a bad mood there because it took out all of his favorite drivers. I just watched the highlights. Bum McLeod's 78 didn't make the show, says OJ and Toothpaste. Yeah, I'm in the same boat, man. BJ McLeod did everything right, and then just happened to get caught up in that massive wreck right there at the end. So just a bummer, man. Like, he did everything right. OJ and Toothpaste having some mechanical difficulties, didn't get a chance to see the full race. Said, I missed the second duel after work. Propane guy came over to test the gas lines in my house for leaks, then leaves and didn't relight the pilot light for the water heater. Super annoying. Very unprofessional of him. Very unprofessional. Make sure you get on there and leave him a very poor Yelp review. If he's not on Yelp, a strongly worded email will also work. Then my landlord came over, and because I didn't get relit because of the regulatory or some, I don't know, an electrician, not a gas person, but we got it figured out. Oh, that sucks. One wise guy said, Blaney dropping F-bombs. He better not get fined. We'll have to see. As long as he doesn't say the S word, he should be okay. Apparently, F-bombs are fine. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what comes of that. Had the battle of junior versus junior in duel 1. That is true. That is true. In between the lanes, the forwards will be fine if they get some practice in. They will figure it out. What's going on? They'll figure out what's going on with the handling. Says Bruce Reed. I think it's going to be interesting because here's the way I saw it. The Toyota has the fastest car, but the Toyota doesn't have the numbers. So when you get all 40 whatever cars on track, I feel like Ford's going to have the advantage there, but I feel like in the draft the Toyota's faster, but the Toyota only has like what 15, maybe 12 or 15 cars, 13 maybe 13. Yeah, something like that. But Ford has way more. So that's going to be interesting to watch. And it's splitting hairs. I think they're tit for tat, but it's just going to be who lines up with who and whatever. Dan Larson almost had it. Yeah. He is so snake bitten on these places tracks. He will get one at Daytona or Talladega soon. Says OJ and Two Face. Yeah, there is no teamwork at Hendrick in the last few laps. Not anymore. So maybe they'll work on that in the future. Caitlin set the record in the first half with a 28-footer and finished the game with 49 points, 13 assists for a double-double. Says Mara Barnum. Of course, talking about Caitlin Clark, female college basketball, in case you're wondering there. BB, any schemes you liked at the duels tonight? I liked all the schemes that finished. The Harrison Burton Wood Brothers car looked really good. It's the only car that you can easily recognize as a Ford without having basically any real Ford logos or Mustang logos that are sort of built into the car. I know they got the Ford logo as the sponsor because it is their sponsor, but the Wood Brothers being iconic, I like that one a lot. The Corey LaJoy one, really good. Noah Gregson's car, I saw the renderings for it, but Noah Gregson's car, when it was actually under the lights, that thing looked mean. I do like the way that thing looked under the lights with the reflective stuff and all that. So there's a few out there that were really good. Let's see. Burton was fast. I expect him to do well in the 500 on Monday. Yeah, same here. And I agree with you. It's probably going to be run on a Monday. Mark Barnum saying lick the like button. So, yeah, if you want to lick that like button, it would be much appreciated, as always. My question is, all the backup cars will be unwrapped, so that they probably will be unwrapped. But since they have enough days, they'll probably have enough days to put a wrap on them while they're preparing them. So they'll probably all be wrapped by the time they hit the racetrack. But they're just unwrapped for right now. That will be odd to see, says Shy. They'll by the Daytona 500, they'll have those cars wrapped. Super Speedway Chaos, says Sonny V. Kyle Larson, Austin Dillon did a little bit of a 2-car breakaway at the first duels. I thought it was interesting. Yeah, that was definitely something to watch. Then Austin Dillon got caught up in that wreck, so we don't know what he really had at the very end. But it looked like the RCR cars were fast, but unfortunately, RCR probably only has one backup, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do. If both of those cars are messed up bad enough that they need a backup, or are they going to try to repair one? It's going to be interesting what they do going forward. I thought McLeod was going to bring Earth 2 to Earth 1, maybe, says CL Kelly. Yeah. I thought so too. He was looking really good, and people were working with him early. Then people didn't want to work with him late, and that was such a bummer that he got caught up in that wreck. I feel bad for him because the dude had everything he needed to win, or just get into the field really. But he at one point had everything he needed to win. I just needed somebody to work with him. Unfortunately, he was in the Chevrolet draft where there weren't a lot of, or in the Chevrolet duel. Or the Gatorade duel where there weren't a lot of Chevrolets in the field, so that didn't play into his favor either. Issue for Toyota on the pit stops in duel 1. Yeah. And the other issue for Toyota is, like I said, they had 4 or 5 in duel number 1, and then 4, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They've got 9 cars. That's their problem. They've got really fast cars, but they've only got about 9 or 10 of them. I want to say off the top of my head. So that's going to be the issue for them. Is pit selection for the 500 based on qualifying position or where you finish in the duel? I think it's based on where you finish in the duel. Like if you were in the first duel, you're on the inside lane or something like that, and if you're in the last duel, you're on the outside lane. I'm pretty sure that's how they're going to do it. If I remember that particular article, they were talking about that the right way. Brad, Dylan, Earpst, and Haley to repair for Sunday. So they're going to repair theirs. Blaney, Bush, and Gregson are going to backups. Okay, so Kyle Busch is definitely going to a backup. Blaney, yeah, for sure. You knew Blaney was going to a backup. That stinks for Gregson. So Gregson needs a backup as well. Aloha BB Keselowski should know not to push in the corners, says Dennis Gillespie. Yeah, I mean, Keselowski's just going to continue to be aggressive, and he is the car owner now. So I guess he's okay with being hyper aggressive and paying for it when these things happen. BB, will the ratings be better for NASCAR to run the 500 Monday nights prime time like 2012, like the 2012 500? I have no idea. I know the Super Bowl got the best ratings that it ever got this weekend, or what was it? The most watched show since I don't know, something crazy. It was something crazy like Elvis in Hawaii or something. I don't know. It was some crazy thing the Super Bowl did. So maybe the Daytona 500 will get that same bump. I don't know. I'm not hopeful, but we'll hopefully it will if it's pushed to Monday, which I think it will be. Denny Hamlin has a nice FedEx scheme this year. It does look good. All of his schemes look pretty good this year. Prime time, says OJ and Toothpaste. Austin Dillon, Bass Pro shop scheme look good on track. Yeah, that one does look good. They do a good job with the Bass Pro every year. I'm actually two of the cars I like there. Bass Pro, both of them. Austin Dillon and Noah Gregson there. And Martin Truex Jr., his car, to me, stays pretty much the same every year, but his car always looks good. You're just used to seeing it. But I would say his looks really good, too. Bass Pro Shops always does a really good job with their cars. I hope BJ goes to all the super speedways this year. He surprised everyone. Yeah, and he did give a shout-out to ECR there at the very end. He said ECR – he said he wouldn't have had a car if it wasn't for that ECR engine. So apparently the ECR engines this season at the super speedways are pumping out some power. So hopefully Kyle Busch will be good to go when he gets his backup car. Clint Boyer needs to go back to racing, says NASCAR Collector. Yeah, they were talking junk to him even in the booth because he just kept cutting people off. And they were Mike Joy and Kevin Harvick were double teaming him. So it was good to see somebody sort of stick up for themselves and not just let Clint Boyer talk over them. And I like Clint Boyer, but he just gets excited and he talks over people. Did you see the unveiling of the 40th anniversary Hendrick Ruby schemes, says OJ and Toothpaste? I did. Looks really good. They're going to run those at Martinsville if you haven't seen them. They're basically a red version of everybody else's normal scheme, and they look, to me, they look really cool. I really like the Kyle Larson one. A lot of people really liked the William Byron one, and the Chase Elliott one looks really good because instead of that like all blue Napa, it's like an all red Napa. So it's sort of a alternate. And then Alex Bowman's just looks like an all red car, but it's hard to explain, but it looks really good in the Ally colors too. So they all look really good. Since the moon landing in 1969, that's what it was. It was the highest rated. The Super Bowl was the highest televised, watched, rated thing since the moon landing in 1969. I think McDowell learned something getting punted like he did, says one wise guy. Yeah, for sure. Once McDowell got punted, he definitely learned something there. Diane H said she liked Kyle Busch's paint schemes. Yeah, Kyle Busch's own paint scheme. That was definitely a good looking one too, with the green and the blue. It kind of reminded me of the number 43 from last year, the Focus Factor. Sort of had that kind of going on. And somebody said it looked like one of the aliens from somebody on Twitter said it looked like one of the aliens from Toy Story. I think McDowell learned something about getting punted, moon landing. Hamlin was too aggressive. I got lost in here somewhere, so if I skipped your comment, I'm sorry. Was Hamlin too aggressive with McDowell? I would say so. That was as late a block as you can get. Now, if he was racing for like a race win in like a regular race, I would be okay with it because it was the last few laps. But this is a qualifying race. I would have taken it a little bit easier. And I think because it's a qualifying race, McDowell cut him some slack. I think if it's a real race, McDowell doesn't cut him that slack like that and just uses him up. Let's see. BB, give me your top 5 underdogs going into the Daytona 500 that no one is talking about. Well, one of my underdogs ruined it by getting the pole. I was gonna give Joey Logano as the underdog status, but he went out there and won the pole, so I can't use him. So I will say Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton's got to be one of them. I'll say AJ Allmendinger. AJ Allmendinger is another guy that nobody's really talking about. I'll throw him out there. And then some people have jumped on the Eric Jones bandwagon, but Eric Jones is one that I would talk about. And everybody talks about like Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace over there at Toyota. But you know who they don't talk about at Toyota that could win this thing? They don't talk about Tyler Reddick, the teammate who actually won the duel. So I'll take him off because he won the duel. But the other guy also won the duel, Christopher Bell. Nobody talks about those two, but those two are both also really good plate racers. I don't know if you can call them underdogs now because they just won. Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick, and Christopher Bell ruined two or three of my underdog picks there. One by winning the poll, and the other two by winning the Gatorade duels. So I was on the money with underdog picks, but Harrison Burton, I guess, would be the one, the biggest underdog pick. And I wouldn't sleep on Riley Herbst and Noah Gregson. So if you really want to get into it, those are the ones. And Corey LaJoie is always a pick, but I don't think he's surprising anybody at a plate track anymore. Let's see. Shaw said, yeah, one wise guy. Nice guys don't finish first. Says Shaw, a wise guy, talking about McDowell. I agree, one wise guy, says Dennis Gillespie. I hope so, says one wise guy. Clint Boyer needs to go to Kansas and bail. Hey, says Mark Barnum. Clint Boyer catching strays here today. What's up, everyone? Better late than never. Glock, what's up, my man? Clint's my guy, says one wise guy. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Clint either. But some people do. Some people do, that's for sure. What's up, Glock, says OJ and Toothpaste, and he's got the old super soaker in there. Apparently, I don't mind Hamlin on the podcast, but I hate Hamroy as a driver, says Shaw. Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that for sure. They said if the 24 scheme wins, they will remove the black near the Exalta logo on the 164th and the 124th. I believe with what I've heard, says NASCAR Collector. I can't believe the 24 finished that race. Man, what a hit. Glad to see Blaney was okay. Yeah, it's crazy what cars finished and what cars didn't finish the race. And I don't know. These cars are just so weird. Like parts of them are like tanks, and then parts of them are, made out of, according to Kevin Harvick, Walmart parts, or was that Kyle Busch Walmart parts? Kevin Harvick called them crappy parts, and then didn't Kyle Busch say they were Walmart parts? So pick your parts there. Y'all going to check out the Happy Hour podcast, as one wise guy. What's funny is everywhere that I was watching when that was announced, everybody's universal reaction, all the social media that I was on at the time, everybody's universal reaction was like, "Oh my God, another podcast!" So that was that was interesting. But that being said, it's Kevin Harvick's podcast, and so I'm going to watch it. I'm just tired of Clint. He needs to just move on with Michael Waltrip with him. The clown show needs to go. The 24 scheme all white looks way better than the random black on the side of the car. I agree. That all white had a good look to it. I agree with you. NASCAR can look forward to some super TV ratings when Miss Swift dumps the NFL and starts dating a NASCAR driver, says Sonny V. If Hamlin can't wreck you from behind, he will try to do it in front of you, says Mark Barnum. I like those underdog picks, BB, says OJ. So, yeah, I've definitely been looking at the numbers. I've had so much time for this one race to look at numbers that I pretty much know who's going to run good and who's not going to run good, barring you can't pick who's going to get caught up in a wreck. Yaley played himself. He just holds his lane. JJ is going home, says Seikau. Yeah, but they slowed down in front of him so much. Like if he didn't move, you end up with basically another William Byron type situation where William Byron had to check up and Kyle Busch decided not to move one way or the other. And even though Kyle Busch slowed up, he was being pushed by Brad Keselowski. So it was one of those deals. Like, I don't know. Nobody went with him was the issue because he had two Toyotas behind him. That was the real problem. If somebody had gone with him, he actually probably would have gained a few spots. So it's crapshoot. It's plate racing, and JJ Yaley didn't have any partners, just like BJ McLeod didn't have any partners. And to me, that's why both of them are going home. It wasn't driving ability or anything like that. They just didn't have anybody that wanted to work with them. Is Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champ, considered an underdog? Says like dislike. I think if you've won the Daytona 500 before, you can't be considered an underdog. So if you want to say he's an underdog, you're more than welcome to say that. But I don't think anybody's going to look at that guy as an underdog. How much did Jimmy Johnson spotter offer Yaley to fall back and give JJ the win? I said, Shaw, I don't think he offered him anything. And also, I think it's a minor miracle that he got that hunk of junk up there running that good. To be totally honest with you, because there's no way anything on that car was prepared properly other than the engine from ECR. So that was definitely a last minute effort by them. Even though it was prepared by Hendrick, I was like, it was prepared by Hendrick at the last minute. I'll promise you that. Jimmy was way too nice with Yaley, says one wise guy. Yeah, so yeah, that's the other thing. Yaley was throwing some aggressive blocks there, but he was trying to get a really, really slow car into the Daytona 500, and Jimmy Johnson's car was way faster too. So I will agree with that. BB West looking 2024, best looking 2024 scheme so far. Right now, I'd have to say Ross Chastain or the Mobile One of Christopher Bell. They're tit for tat. And what's the worst looking scheme so far this year? Uh, I'm going to say BJ McLeod because it doesn't have any sponsors on it. That guy needs some sponsors, especially the way he drove tonight. So, and that's the reason I'm saying it's the worst looking one. Somebody needs to sponsor BJ McLeod because he showed what he can do tonight, and I'm really impressed and proud of that guy. Let's see. My issue with Clint is it's like, my guy, you're funny just being yourself, but when he tries to be funny all the time, it's just absolutely cringe-inducing. That is probably the best way to put it, say Kyle. If he would just relax and be himself, like he is legitimately funny for sure, but he tries to force the issue. He's like, he's laughing at his own joke, and he's constantly needing affirmation instead of just being himself and relaxing and telling normal jokes he would tell. Happy for Jimmy Johnson. Sucks for BJ, but that means he's still Earth 2 world champion, says Glockopus. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Conspiracy, JJ paid Gailey off, says Shaw. There you go. There's your conspiracy. Cheers to you as well, Beast. LOL, it's Harvick. I'm going to watch it, says one wise guy. Same here. I hope they chop it up into clips and put it on YouTube. But you never know. You never know with Fox. So I know Peacock at least let Dale Jr. Download do clips. I don't know how Fox is going to do their deal. Hopefully they put the whole thing on YouTube, and they also put the clips on YouTube. Hopefully they don't go the Peacock route where they try to keep everything on Peacock to force you to go over there and watch it. BB, will Jimmy Johnson win his third Daytona 500 this year? That's a tough call. He's got a really fast car. But from what I saw tonight, Tyler Reddick is aggressive enough to win it. But I feel like Toyota's best shots to win this race are going to be Eric Jones, Denny Hamlin, and Bubba Wallace. If they can keep their cars clean, like it's always a crapshoot. I feel like those are going to be your best bets to win it. I feel like everybody else is either going to be too aggressive for a 500-mile race, or if you're on Earth 2, 500-lap race. So if you're a Toyota guy, I feel like Eric Jones, Bubba Wallace, and Denny Hamlin are going to be your best shot to win that race. But like I said, your sleepers for Toyota are the two guys that won the races tonight, Christopher Bell and the 45 of Tyler Reddick. Maybe Harvick can get Dana White as a guest. Well, he's connected with MMA, so that would not surprise me, actually, if Dana White becomes a guest on that show. The problem with that would be that it's on Fox, and I think Dana White has a contract with ESPN, so that might get sticky there, but you never know. He hasn't had a problem going on podcasts any other time, but if you recently watched Dana White, according to him, he is so done with podcasts as he walked out in the first Howie Mandel's podcast. Which I feel was scripted. I feel like he wanted to make a point to Howie Mandel because I feel like he just doesn't like Howie Mandel. But that is what it is. One wise guy posted the Discord link. If you want to join us on Discord, I talk on Discord a little bit during the races. So if you want to get some of that insight, we do the Discord deal, and the acceleratedgraphics.com is where you get the Bologna Burger merch like this hat right here. And we just recently, today actually, put up the sweatshirts. The sweatshirts are finally here. And if you're one of the first 50 people to purchase a sweatshirt, you get a free camo hat, which I don't have one with me here. But if you watched the video today, you did see the camo hat. You also saw the sweatshirts. But yeah, appreciate you there, one wise guy. I really like the paint scheme on the 51. Definitely gets Days of Thunder vibes from it. Says Ken, for sure. Discord and merch links, says one wise guy. Best looking Xfinity car is Deegan's clutch vodka scheme. That is a good looking car. I haven't looked at all the Xfinity schemes yet, but that's definitely going to be a good one. BJ McLeod needs a Bucky sponsorship, says OJ and Toothpaste, or as we call it on Craig Moore Racing, Boussays. Old Boussays, prime rib, and not prime rib, but Boussays briskets and barbecue. They should just serve Clint a few Jack and Cokes. Like that's something he actually needs to get up there and relax, or maybe he's had too many. We don't know. Jamie, what's going on? Good to see you on here. LOL at the BJ McLeod joke. Always good to see Jamie on here. Hope you're doing good. Denny had the car, but he went a little bit too early, and he left his teammate a little bit too early, just like Austin Cindric left his teammate too early. But Denny, he's definitely got the car for sure. BD Earth 2 Daytona 500. Quick predictions. Earth 2 Daytona 500. Let's see here. Who is going to finish? This is basically Earth 2. Who's going to finish last because they win on Earth 2. So who is going to wreck out first and finish last? It's always somebody really good. So this is always on Earth 2 a surprise winner. I'm going to go with Who was driving like an apps? Who was driving crazy and just absolutely got saved? I'm gonna go Tyler Reddick. I'm gonna go like Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick almost wrecked like 5 times and didn't. So I feel like that's not gonna last for the 500. I feel like Tyler Reddick is gonna. I'm going big or going home, and I hope I'm totally wrong because I like Tyler Reddick. But Tyler Reddick is gonna be the he's gonna be the man on Earth 2. He's gonna take home the early win over there on Earth 2. He ate up the wall. There's no way about it. Harvick's podcast will be on Apple Podcasts. Okay, so he'll be on Apple, so you will be able to check it out over there. The only thing Howie Mandel has ever done that was any good was Bobby's World. Hey, and that's all you need to do to be good. Look, Bobby's World was a fine television show. There is nothing wrong with that. I get Dana saying, "Nah, I'm good." Says say Kyle, yeah, I think they have. I would say the rub between those two come with how they vote, and I don't talk about that stuff, so that's why I'm just going to leave that right there. But I feel like those guys are on two different sides of the political aisle, and I feel like that's why that stunt was pulled on that particular deal. BB, do you have a medium-sized sweatshirt for me to order on the site? Says OJ Toothpaste. I sure do. Whatever you guys order is going to be what they put in. So they are ready to go. So far, I think because I was up there today, so I think so far only. Oh, when I was there before I left, I should say only 2 had been ordered. So there's still plenty of like free hats to go with your sweatshirts. You still got a good chance to get them. My BB, I need a zip up hoodie. Says say Kyle, those are probably coming next month. We had a design going with that, and the design looked really good, and we were super stoked about it. And then a younger kid walks in and goes, "Dude, that looks just like a Mr. Beast hoodie." I was like, oh. I was like, God. I don't even know. Like, I know who Mr. Beast is, but I don't watch any of his videos, so I don't exactly know what his logo looked like. But man, I felt like I had like a really fire logo, and this little kid walks in, and they're like, "That looks like Mr. Beast's logo," and I'm like, "Oh!" So we had to scrap all the zip up hoodies, but they will be next month. We will have the zip up hoodies coming. So if you want to hold out for the zip up hoodies, I understand, but these hoodies we got right here, I feel like are pretty stout in my opinion. We got the hunter green and the orange. We got the petty blue colors on one of them. We got the black and the red, and then what was the other one? Carolina blue, yellow, and red, which might not sound great, but it's a red one with Carolina blue and yellow text, which is actually my favorite. I think Dana White thought he was being set up for something with Mandel's complete over-the-top introduction. Yeah, that could be part of it too, Sonny V. That over-the-top introduction definitely sounded like he was trying to trap him with something. I can understand where you're coming from there too. Clint seems stiff with Kevin, almost like on his best behavior. It's a little weird. Yeah, he's waiting for Kevin Harvick to bust his butt, I think. I thought Hamlin was going all the way to the back. He still made it up to third with that move. And just to get up there to begin with, he did a classic Denny Hamlin pit stop where he just passed everybody on pit road, and that's what actually got him in position to be there to begin with. So he had a good race. He just went just a little bit early, and it's the first race of the season. You expect guys to go a little bit early. Austin Cindric, in my opinion, went a little bit early. If he had been patient, him and Harrison Burton are probably the two that are battling it out for the lead or the win in the second one. But it is what it is. Early season, everybody's anxious and ready to get out there and do it. Plus, it's Daytona, biggest race of the year. You want to win something there. Kevin Harvick is Clint Boyer's babysitter, says OJ and Toothpaste. Clint needs to eat a gummy before the broadcast, or just something to calm him down. LOL, OJ and Toothpaste, says Jamie. How did you guys like the new bodies on the car this year? I think the Toyotas look really like a lot of people didn't like the Toyota at first, but now that they've seen them with the proper paint schemes, wraps, and stuff on them, I think everybody's coming around on the new Toyota. And, of course, everybody loved the Ford when it came out. My only thing I would nitpick about the Ford, I know it's the dark horse. I know they don't want to make the logo. They need to make the horse where you can either see it visibly or they need to put a blue oval on the hood, one or the other. You don't have to do both, but you got to do one or the other because it just looks like a test car. It looks like a test car for like a magazine that they don't want you to know what model it is or something. So they need to put a Ford badge on it somewhere. I understand what they're doing. It's supposed to mimic the dark horse in real life. I can't say how we say it because that word is frowned upon. It's all the way covered with one color. It's all monochromatic. They don't want it to whatever. I don't, whatever. It's murdered out is how we say it where I'm at. Like everything is all blacked out. So that's how the Dark Horse is made factory. So I guess they don't want to break up the customization of that by putting a chrome horse on the front of it, but they need to because it just looks like a test car. Hey Burger, how do you feel about the backup car speed now since you got your pick got wrecked and my guy got pushed and he got damaged to I'm optimistic, says Matthew Smith. Well, last year Kyle Busch, that's who's my pick to win the 500 this year, and I'm just going to pick him until he wins it because I feel like he's due. Last year he wrecked his car too, and they had to go to a backup, and it didn't slow him down at all. So I feel like RCR is just really good at plate racing. So I feel like their backup cars are normally just as good as their the regular cars. So I'm not super concerned about that one. BB, if you had to pick any 4x4 truck in the world for free, which would you choose? Chevy, Ford, Toyota, Dodge, Ridgeline, or the Titan, says OJ and Toothpaste. If I could pick any truck in the world for free that I could drive, I would pick the Mercedes 6-wheel 4x4. What's that thing called? Oh man, I forget what the actual name of it, but it's basically like a G-Wagon, except it's a truck and it's got 6 wheels. And I guess technically it's a 6x6, but it has 4x4. So I'm going to go with that. I can't remember. Hold on. You know what? I have the internet. I should do that. I should use the internet because I have it. The Mercedes AMG 63 6x6. That is the truck that I'm going to go with. And let's see here. Can I click this and actually grab the link? Do I have enough internet for that? Copy. And so that everybody knows what I'm talking about, because this is as weird as it gets for most people. There you go. There is a link to the car that I'm talking about as it was reviewed by AutoWeek. Let's see. One wise guy saying small to XX is available, I believe. I think you're right about that. And if you need a bigger size, just write that in there, and we'll find you the bigger size. Or if you need like a smaller size, I know some people needed extra small last time. If you just put that in the description when you order, we'll take care of that where they're at. So if your size isn't there, just email them and let them know, and they'll work with you and get that figured out. OJM Toothpaste saying LOL to Jamie Thornton. Got to go with Zip Up. Makes it easier for indoor wear. With a CCW, I have a ton of great pullovers. I never wear specifically for that reason. Says, say Kyle, I got you. They're on the way, but like I said, that was unfortunately, I guess it looked way too much like Mr. Beast. So I don't know. BB, what's the best brand NASCAR fire suit? Alpine Stars, Simpson, or Jordan? K1. K1 to me is the best one. Their prices are a little bit better. Yeah, that's pretty much, to me, that's what it comes down to. They're fitted and their prices are better. So Velocita is another good one that you can get a pretty good price on. And they're fitted as well. Man, I agree. Bologna Burger 100% on the logo or the horse, says Jim. Yeah, like it just it's an awesome looking car. It's always going to look awesome, but it just looks sort of like a test car or a prototype or something. The new Ford Dark Horse looks like a proto Tesla, says OJ and Toothpaste. Even if they just put a white outline around the horse, it would be better. Yeah, I agree. Just something, man. BB, will Honda come into NASCAR? They getting JGR or Stuart Haas Racing? Oh, that's a good question, OJ and Toothpaste. And here's where I'm going to be controversial. I think they'll get Trackhouse and Spire, and Andretti Autosport will buy into Spire, and it'll sort of be some collaboration of Trackhouse, Andretti, Spire. And I think that's where your Hondas are going to come from. And I think SHR will either go to Chevy or Dodge will get their stuff together, and SHR will go to Dodge. But I think SHR is, after this season, what tells me SHR is done with Ford after this season is the fact that they announced tonight that Front Row Motorsports is going to be a Tier 1 Ford team. That let me know everything I need to know about SHR. SHR is going back to either Chevrolet or Dodge. That's pretty much all that told me tonight, in my opinion, and it's just that, me speculating. Let's see. BB, Scotty Kilmer would not like your choice of Mercedes. That's okay. You know what? Because Because I'm a mechanic, Scotty. You don't have to work on my car. I'll work on it myself, homeboy. He wouldn't like my pick of a Hummer either because the brakes are on the inside. But you know what? I would work on it. It would be my car. It would be my bug out vehicle to go be weird and drive off into the wilderness when civilization collapses. Those are my choices, Scott Kilmer, who is wrong about a lot of things, I would like to point out. Let's see. That is a dope 6x6 Mercedes truck, though. That's an odd truck. LOL, says Shaw. I tell you what, though, say what you want about it. Those things never break down, period. End of conversation. So my other backup to that would be the Toyota that the UN uses, the diesel version of the Toyota that they use for the EN. It's a Land Cruiser, but it's not really the Land Cruiser we get over here. Oh, look at that. One wise guy's on it. Land Cruisers, 70s series trucks. So I wouldn't go all the way back to the 70s, but I would go to the Land Cruiser that they use overseas for the UN. That would be my I guess like regular brand or whatever, like Toyota, Chevrolet or whatever. That would be my regular brand pick. Toyota is making their own, and Lexus has a version of it too. But the Lexus one is a gas engine, but that gas engine regularly goes over 500,000 miles. So if you wanted completely domestic that you could buy here, I guess the Lexus version or the Toyota version of the American Land Cruiser. Chevrolet, the Chevrolet Suburban from most years is pretty reliable too. So those would be my two picks of a regular truck. And I own a Silverado. So I guess the actual answer to the real question, if I had to buy it in real life with my real money, I've already bought the Silverado. But a Tundra is a good truck too, as long as you're not doing any super heavy work with the Tundra, because the Tundras only come in 1,500. You can't go up to 2,500 or 3,500. BB, did you see the Hendrick? But if you buy a 2,500 or a 3,500 truck, chances are those things are not breaking down. So you're in pretty good shape either way. No matter what brand you buy. BD, did you see the Hendrick Martinsville paint schemes yet? Yeah, they look really good. The ruby red cars look really good. The scheme on all of them looked really good, I thought. KB, almost, of course, I'm partial to Kyle Larson. I thought his looked the best. KB, but most people I feel like thought that William Byron's looked the best, that weren't Kyle Larson fans. Let's see here. KB almost won with a backup last year, so I think him and Austin Dillon will be fine. Glad to be back. Says Swan Dog. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with your analysis on that 100%. RCR just really, they've always been really good at restrictor plate racing tracks. OJ and Toothpaste with the super chat. Appreciate you. Fist bump, my friend. There we go. Get it on camera. Thanks for the live stream tonight, brother. No problem, OJ. Always good to do it, my friend. Let's see. I was going to ask about Spire. Yeah, for sure. I think Spire and Trackhouse, they're going to be super close. And I think if Honda comes into the sport, that's going to be who they go with. BB, what about Xfinity? And you could probably pull some ancillary teams. So like JTG Doherty, I could see them going with Honda too. Like you would want it. That would be a big bump up for them, because then they would really, because I feel like Spire and Trackhouse are going to be one big team. So JTG Doherty in that situation would be the second team, and they would be getting the next best equipment from Honda. So I think that would be a beneficial move for a team like them, especially since Front Row Motorsports is already re-upped with Honda. The other situation is, of course, maybe Stewart Haas Racing goes to Honda, but Tony Stewart was really funny about driving a Toyota. So I don't. That's the reason I say I don't see Stewart Haas Racing going Honda. He couldn't get out of Joe Gibbs Racing fast enough when he was driving a Toyota that one season. So he's definitely, I guess, and this is just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. He might love driving a Toyota. He might drive a Toyota in his spare time. But that's just the way I always felt about it. So he's always wanted to have like an American manufacturer on his team, but he might not care about that anymore. So who knows? Let's see here. With your mechanic skills, you have to open a spot on my zombie apocalypse squad. LOL, says say Kyle. Nothing wrong with that. There's an American version of Top Gear. They made zombie-proof cars. That was a pretty good episode. I think they used the Toyota Camry for it. Let's see. Just watch the highlights from the Iowa game. You have to watch them if you get a chance. Will do. Scotty's right about everything. Just ask him, says Sonny V. Yeah, as far as that goes, he's a man after my own heart. As far as that goes, never be in doubt with your opinion, even when you're super wrong. Just admit that you were wrong later when it turns out you were wrong, but never in the moment. Make as big a fool of yourself as possible. Let's see. Yeah, that 70 series model of Land. The 70 series is the. Okay. I got you. The 70 series is the model of Land Cruiser. I got you. I thought you were talking about Land Cruisers from the 70s. I got you now. Man, Baloney Burger, I think you're 100% right about SHR. That relationship has soured so much. Look at how brutal the last few years have been for SHR. Definitely have been. It's been rough for them. Rough for them. Some of it self-inflicted though. Foreign car companies keep the best for themselves and do not export them. Says PC gone rogue. Well, there's reasons for that. That we put a hefty import tax on everything coming over here, so that's partially part of the reason. And also, we have way different emissions than them as well. When did they start giving points for dual races? A couple years ago, maybe. I don't know exactly how far back it goes. This might be the first year, but I swear I feel like they started doing it maybe last year, a couple years ago. SHR go Honda, says Shot. No, I don't think SHR will go Honda. I think SHR will go either Chevrolet or they'll pull Dodge back in. BB, what's worse? Denny's, IHOP, Waffle House, or Applebee's? What's worse? Waffle House. Waffle House, worse by far. Waffle House is the worst food. The reason Waffle House makes money is because it's the only thing open at that time at night. Does it scare anyone still with this new car? When Kevin Harvick was talking about what other drivers said about this car and how violent the impacts are, you can see Blaney how violent his body moved. Yeah, they did. They did make it a little bit less stiff, but it's still definitely a stiffer car than the previous model. So I don't know. Hopefully it'll be it won't be a detriment this season. Hopefully everybody that wrecks is okay. Hopefully we don't get a lot of wrecks, but hopefully everybody that wrecks is okay. OJ and toothpaste, just my opinion, but I think Applebee's is the most overpriced junk as far as. Okay, so if you go price ratio, okay, so that if we factor in price. If we factor in price, if you factor in price, I'm going to have to move IHOP up to worse because you're paying more money for food that is equally as bad as Waffle House and Denny's. So I will bump IHOP up a notch if you exclude IHOP's pancakes. IHOP's pancakes are actually really good. But everything else is like super overpriced, and it's not that much better than Waffle House, but it is slightly better than Waffle House, but not for the amount of money you pay. So yeah, that's a good point if you factor in how much it costs. And just to be clear, I'm not eating at any of these places unless they're the only thing open. Let's see, or if I'm hanging out with Mike Harmon, I will. If I'm hanging out with Mike Harmon, I'll make an exception and I will eat at the Applebee's just to see who we're going to scrap with in the parking lot later. Probably nobody, because nobody wants to scrap with Mike Harmon. He is a legend of the Applebee's parking lot. Reflective black, says Baron. I do like reflective black. That's a solid color. Would you do a live stream with Scotty Kilmer? Says OJ and toothpaste. I wouldn't be against it, but he's a little wild. I feel like even those 22-minute videos you get with him, I feel like he was talking for an hour and a half and cut it down to 22 minutes. So I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could hang with him. Or it could be the easiest live stream of my life because I just let him talk and I'll just sit back there and let him do his thing and I'll just chime in every few minutes. So I don't know. Yeah, but I would love to do a live stream with him. All jokes aside, he's a super funny dude. But you can tell those 22-minute videos he makes, they probably were like an hour and a half. Scotty loves those clickbait title videos too. He says, "OJ, oh God, he I feel like he does it as a joke, but he does love the clickbait. He's a clickbait. He's a clickbait. He's a master clickbaiter." Let's see. HMS sucks. Says like dislike. BB, your early predictions for the Final Four this year. Do it. Already did it, OJ and toothpaste, and I can't remember who I picked in my video. So I feel like I would pick somebody different now, but I did make a video with those picks, and I did have my Final Four in there, and I pissed off all the Ryan Blaney fans because I didn't have him in my Final Eight. So that's I do remember that part, including the Ryan Blaney fan that I work with who walked up to me and told me that my entire channel was trash because I left Ryan Blaney out of the Final Four and it was disrespectful to leave the champion out of the Final Four. So there you go, Brandon. I said it on here for you since you didn't want to say it. I tried to get him to say it for me on camera. And Ryan Blaney fans who are also mad at me. I have literally been told to my face by Ryan Blaney fans that my channel is trash because I didn't put the defending champion in my Final Four for next year. So I have been owned and put in my place. So there you go. Let's see. Floridians gauge hurricane intensity off of the cat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or rather, if the Waffle House is open or not, the more you know. So say, Kyle, hey, there you go. If the Waffle House isn't open, you better board up or get out of town. Safe cars have crumple zones. Stiff cars is like going back to the 70s. I mean, I agree with you, Shaw. I don't know why NASCAR didn't know this. It's almost as if they hate engineering. Kinetic force is brutal and travels through the body, soft, turning it into a vibrating bell. That's for sure. That's for sure. It's like, I don't know if you ever were like little kids and they would put like a bucket on your head and then slap it. It's sort of the same effect. You get the idea of how much the vibrations are more, the energy travels through vibrations more so than anything else. If Denny kept Bacchanalia, if Denny's kept Baconalia around 365, they would be the easy W. I feel like that's maybe endless bacon. I'm not super sure about that. Say, Kyle, I'm not a huge Denny's person. Although Denny's does have a really good song. What's that? What's up, Denny's? What was that, dude? Anyway, you guys know the video if you've seen it. If you don't, look up What's Up, Denny's. It's a song. What are your takeaways from the duels and your expectations now? I think Toyota's got the best chance to win this race. I feel like a Toyota has the best chance to win this race. That being said, I'm not changing my pick. I think Kyle Busch wins this race. Busiest cook in the kitchen at Applebee's is the microwave, a.k.a. Chef Mike. Ain't no doubt about that. There's nothing wrong with that either. It's prepared by gourmet chefs. Then they freeze it, and a non-gourmet chef puts it in the microwave and warms it up for you. Say, Kyle, we see tornado weather and as barbecue weather here in Iowa. BB, will Carson Hocevar get in a fist fight this year? I hope not. I hope nobody's dumb enough to test anybody with that much reach, because I don't know if you could even get to his chin while he's piecing you up. Let's see. One wise guy. The guys who are always good at Daytona are still at the bend and end at the run. Let me slow down here. Still the bend and end up, running up at the front and the end. That's the biggest thing. It takes a certain skill. Guys like Hamlin, BK, Logano, all I know. For sure. That's 100% right. It's always the same. It's always the same dudes at the very end. There's always like a couple of surprises up there, but it's always the same guys at the end. For as much as everybody talks about luck, and there is luck, you got to stay out of the wrecks. But certain guys, if they make it past the wrecks, you know they're going to be there at the end. One wise guy saying, "What a coworker!" Yeah, he did it. He did it to be funny, but he definitely there was a little bit of truth in that kidding. Let's keep it 100 there. How to get up front? Says Jimmy. The certain guys just know how to get up front. Yeah, for sure. Junior Motorsports will buy one charter from Tony Stewart and switch to Cadillac. Oh, that's a good question. There's been a lot of Cadillac talk. Like a lot of people thinking that Chevrolet will just use the Cadillac or whatever. So that's that's interesting. I don't think Cadillac will ever come to the Cup Series because it's just it's not the same. It's not the demographic that they want to push it to. The demographic that they want to push Cadillac to is in IMSA and stuff like that. They want it to be this upscale thing. So basically, what I'm trying to say is they want you to see Cadillacs racing and beating Mercedes and Ferraris and stuff like that. They don't want you to see Cadillacs racing and beating Fords and Toyotas. They want you to associate Cadillac with the most expensive car brands in the world. So that's, to me, that's the reason you won't see Cadillac in NASCAR. B, I know I may have said this, but would you let Chef Ramsay yell and scream at your face just like in MasterChef? I'd give him one time to do it. Then I'd tell him if he did it again, what would happen. That's how that would go. Just like my entire food service career went. People did try that, and people found out that was not a good idea. And we'll leave it at that. And I was 20, and I could do it back then. Now I'm going to throw like one big haymaker, and we're all going to be out of breath, and that's just going to be the way that goes because we're old now. One wise guy said, "Right, Jamie? Let's see. BB, will Ty Gibbs win a race this year, and where?" I do think Ty Gibbs wins a race. Where he wins that race, I don't know, but I would put Martinsville pretty high on that list of places he could win. In Cup, says OJ and Two-Face. Yeah, I think he's got a good chance to win at Martinsville, but it's going to be interesting. Denny's Grand Slam is what the concert was called. Laughing my butt off, says Kyle. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. What's up, Denny's Grand Slam? Check out that video if you've never seen it before. And once you check it out, you'll be like, oh, I've seen this before. It's pretty funny. Scotty clickbait video title: I was in a coma for 8 months and still managed to fix all of my cars, says Sonny V. And then, like, somewhere in the middle of it, he'll say, I can fix all my cars because they never broke because I bought Toyotas. Everybody just buy a Toyota. One wise guy, I always hear guys, some even great like Kyle Busch say, you can't move up the field. Yeah, guys like Hamlin were running in the back and find a way to the front. I think it's just skill. Yeah, it's definitely a type of driving that you got to it's just a different style of driving. Just like if you go to a short track, you have a different style of driving Martinsville than you do Richmond. It's the same thing. It's just a mentality you've got to get in. Bristol is a mentality you've got to get in to win. And both Busch brothers were good at that. For whatever reason, Kyle Busch just doesn't like getting his mentality into how you race at plate tracks sometimes. But he figured it out last year, and I think he'll figure it out again this year. He's getting closer and closer to figuring out that code, and I think it becomes more and more important to him every year because it's just one of the big races he hasn't won yet. Speaking of bacon, did you watch Noah's interview? He's hitting the cheeseburgers. I'll tell you the truth, man. Noah Gregson, he's got like a puffy face, but if you meet him in person, he is super skinny. So it's really, and me and my buddy, when we were at Wilkesboro, and we walked past Noah, and we both looked at each other at the same time and said the same thing. Like, that dude looks way bigger on TV, and then when you see him in person, he is skinny. Like, Noah Gregson is skinny. So I don't know what the camera does to him, but he is not big like that. Like, I don't know, the camera for whatever adds like 70 pounds to him. He is super skinny in real life. Scotty Kilmer, I'm dead. Here's my Toyota 94 Celica now. LOL, says OG and Toothpaste. That he obviously never drives, by the way. I'd like to throw that out there because he drives his Toyota Matrix. Corey LaJoy went to Chili's after the duels, for sure. Chili's, it is awesome. Not to be confused with Chi-Chi's, which is a celebration of food, or it was a celebration of food until it went out of business. Baconalia featured a ton of bacon items, including maple. Oh, yeah, okay, so I do remember this now. Maple and bacon ice cream. Sunday sounds nasty, but oh my god, it was good. Yeah, so a lot of people don't know the saltiness of bacon is a good condiment for a lot of really sweet stuff. I had a buddy he went to culinary school and he did all kinds of weird stuff like that. He also made peanut butter sandwiches with cheddar cheese on them, and I was like, dude, that's the nastiest thing ever. Please stop eating that in front of me. And then, of course, like, he made me one. He's like, just try it. And I was like, all right, it's good, but it still looks nasty, so you can't eat it in public. So those are just the rules. It can taste good, but if it looks nasty, you just can't eat it in public. I'm looking at you, Reuben eaters. Everything on a Reuben is disgusting, but when you put it together, it does taste good. But individually, every single thing on a Reuben, I would not eat by itself. Let's see. He was in his feelings if he called your channel trash. Well, says one wise guy. Yeah, I mean, he was just joking about that part, but he definitely wanted to get tell me I was a moron for not putting Ryan Blaney at least in the final 8. He was like, "What is wrong with you?" I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "It's just my picks." I was like, "I at least did pick Ryan Blaney to win races last year, unlike some people who were like, Ryan Blaney is just going to keep losing races. He doesn't have what it takes." Let's see. Rev up your engines. Bloney Burger wants the 6x6 Mercedes. Let me tell him why he's wrong. Let's go. Scotty Kilmer, LOL. Gibbs may win at Vegas, says one wise guy. I mean, yeah. Look, here's the deal. Gibbs could win at Daytona too. Don't count him out there. One big haymaker and we're out of breath rolling on the floor. I mean, I'm just being real. The most important thing to remember in a battle of fisticuffs is A, don't get hit, and B, remember to breathe. There's your UFC tips for the day. Bring Cadillac to Cup, but only if they run the North Star package. That's facts. Let's see. I don't think they're coming to Cup though. I hope Riley Herbst didn't hurt his car too much. I hope so too. Hopefully he doesn't have to go to a backup. He had a good car. Facts. I've never seen a Toyota on a flatbed. Not unless somebody ran into it. So let's see. So Noah Gregson is a real life bobblehead. Yeah. It's not. I mean, it's just he would look like you would be super surprised because he looks really chubby on TV. It might just be the fire suit or whatever that he's wearing. He looks really chubby on TV, but when you meet him in real life, he's just like a really skinny kid, and he's super nice, man. He goes up and talks to all the fans. So yeah, he's he's one of the cooler drivers if you ever meet him in person for sure. Deegan is a super tiny person, says one wise guy. Yeah, so is Matt Crafton. Matt Crafton's a lot shorter in real life than you would imagine him being. Oh my God, I'm slow today. I wasn't getting the Scotty references. It finally clicked. The most annoying guy on the internet, says Mark Martin, fan for life. LOL, that's crazy. VB on Noah, says Jamie Thornton. Yeah, he's a really small dude, but he does look a little bit bigger on camera for whatever reason. Scotty also adds blinker fluid. Says one wise guy. Oh yeah, for sure. And Chris Fix. I feel like all his April Fool's joke every year has something to do with blinker fluid. I feel like with Harvick out, is Hamlin or Truex the oldest regular driver now? That is a good question. I think Truex is a little bit older than Hamlin, so I think it's Truex. But I could be wrong about that. I don't have the information right in front of me. Thoughts on Bill's DeWalt Interstate Batteries Camry? I don't like it. I do like his Mobile One, and I like his regular DeWalt car. I think that looks really good. But the green and the yellow, the shade of green and the yellow just clash. It's just a little bit off. It doesn't look bad though. It's not like the worst thing I've ever seen. It's just compared to his regular DeWalt or to the regular all black Interstate car that Ty Gibbs ran last year. It works better by itself, obviously. But hey, he's got sponsors, so it doesn't look that bad either. So I think they made it work as good as you can make it work. BD Toyota Tundra versus Ford F-150. Oh, if you're talking that, like all day, Toyota Tundra. I'll take a Toyota Tundra all day. You can't pay me money to buy an F-150. If I'm buying a Ford truck, and this is from working at Ford, I'm going F-250 and up. And I'm going to get it used because I don't need to buy it new, because those F-250s, 350s, 450s, they will last you a lifetime if you treat them right, whether you get the 5.4 or whether you get the diesel. Those things, or the 5.8, if you just want to go that far back, those things will run forever. If you want to go far enough back, you get the Humming Cummins 250, you're good. That thing will outlive you, your grandchildren, and possibly their grandchildren. The Humming Cummins is the real deal back in the day. Let's see. But as far as a 100 or a 1500 truck, it's hard to beat a Toyota. Let's see. A Toyota with the V8. Now that they've gone to the V6 twin turbo, they can keep that. They can keep that. Same thing with Ford. Their 3.5 twin turbo. You can keep it. I don't need it. You can keep it. Baloney, let's do a live stream during the Daytona 500. I can't do it during the Daytona 500. I go off location to watch the races, and then I come back here. That's why it always takes me a little bit of time before I can go live after the races. Deegan's taller than Larson, so yeah, there you go. That's Larson's real height right there, and I'm sitting down, and he's only got eyeballs above me. So Larson's a tiny guy too, for sure. BB, if you had to make a bet, would you place your money on a Toyota driver having a Freudian slip saying Camry SCX instead of XSE in an interview this year? You never know. It might not even be a Freudian slip. There might be some incorrigible Toyota drivers who might just say it that way just for giggles. Who's filling in for Chris Hacker? So, yeah, I forgot to mention that. Good point. Chris Hacker was in he's okay now. He's in stable condition, and he's going to make a full recovery. He was in a wreck. A transfer truck crossed over lanes and ran over his Mustang. So he is out. I don't know who's going to fill in for him. F-250 diesel or gas. It depends on which diesel you get. If you can get a Cummins, that's always going to be the best. If you get the international motor that they made, what year did they make it? Was it like 09, 07, 08, or 09? There was like one international motor that International actually made for Ford. Then after that, it was the Power Stroke started making them. But if you can get the international one, that's a good diesel. Then you really have to investigate each particular year of your diesels with Ford as to which ones run forever and which ones don't. So it's still not out of the question, but I know for sure if I get a 5.4, that thing's going to be good to go. There were some that had like a spark plug issue, but you can figure that out and get that done pretty quick. That's not the hardest thing in the world to figure out and fix. So I would go gas on an F-250, me personally. Unless you just really want to put in the time to figure out exactly which diesels to go with. BD, is Jeff Gordon a good role model, or Chase, Kyle, Alex, for Chase, Kyle, Alex, and William? Jeff Gordon now probably is a really good role model, but I think even if you ask Jeff Gordon back in Jeff Gordon's prime, Jeff Gordon in his prime probably wouldn't have been the best role model, but him not being a good role model then probably taught him how to be a good role model now. So I would say because of that experience, he's probably the best role model they could have over there at Hendrick, because he's going to tell them exactly what they shouldn't do and exactly why they shouldn't do it because he lived it. Let's see, 92 F-250 diesels were solid. Yeah, I think there were still Cummins back then, if I'm not mistaken. One wise guy. I missed your show, Balloonenberger. It's always the best, in my opinion. I know NASCAR has the shortest off season, but it feels the longest. So happy NASCAR is back. And yeah, I'm happy you're back as well. She went through. I don't want to tell you information unless you don't want to know it, but I'm glad you're back. I'll just say that. So Kyle Larson works winners for Santa Claus making toys. Says Shaw. So that's Kyle Larson knows he's short. He's not backing away or shying away from that. One wise guy saying, agree, Jamie. I appreciate y'all. Y'all making me blush here. I've got an 05 Tundra, 260 miles on it. Runs great, y'all. You're just getting started with that thing. Look, 500,000 mile Toyotas are nothing new. So I would expect you to get easily 500,000 on that if you do your regular maintenance on it. Truex born in June. Hamlin born in November 1980. So there you go. Truex has him by a couple months there. I Am Harvick was a good watch. Oh, I Am Harvick, the little documentary. Yeah, I need to watch that for sure. I'm sure they'll play it again. I appreciate you there, Shy. BB, what made you want to be on YouTube? A lot of people love you're interested in NASCAR and you're humble for it. We look forward to your streams. So basically, there's a lot of things, but one of the bigger things was I was working on late models, and there's a lot of guys in late models. They just don't want to talk about the Cup Series for various reasons, and you just get told a lot. Or at least the people I was working around, they're like, we don't want to hear about the Cup Series. We don't want to talk about the Cup Series. We want to talk about late models because late models is where it's at. You sort of get you get a very similar attitude if you've been around dirt people. Dirt people like, we don't care about the Cup Series. We just like Kyle Larson. We want to talk about dirt. So because I didn't really have anybody to talk to about it, I was like, well, I'm just going to talk about it on YouTube. And that's why I talk about it. I really never imagined anybody would watch. So I just got on here and started talking about it. And then one day people like literally talked about it for over a year and nobody watched. And then all of a sudden one day people were watching, and it's just really cool. So I don't know what to expect from it. And it's just super, it was super crazy that it took off. And so glad I got somewhere to talk about it, and I'm glad I'm not just talking to myself about it, but we've got like tons of people to talk about it, and that's why these type of live streams are like really cool, because I literally just really get to talk to you guys about what you want to talk about, and that's why I always do the Tuesday one. Or we do the post race ones too, but the post race we talk about the post race, but the Tuesday ones we really just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, like whether it be racing or sometimes we talk about food or just whatever, as long as it's not politics. I really don't want to talk about them. There's 4 million social media experts about politics. If you want to talk about them, you don't have to talk about me about them. Am I missing something? Was there an era where Jeff Gordon was doing stuff off Ladies of the Night and lighting bags of dog poo on fire on the doorsteps? When was he a bad role model? LOL, says Say Kyle. I'll tell you what, Say Kyle, if you ever get a chance to meet him in person, you can ask him about it. And I'm going to leave it at that. Now, I'm not saying he was doing, I don't think any race car driver is crazy enough to, from the 90s and beyond, is crazy enough to be doing anything that they're going to pop on a P test for. But he was living his life. We'll put it that way. There's a lot of them that were living their life. And that's why I think he will be a good role model for him. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to learn from what you do. I wasn't taking any shots at Jeff Gordon because I was a Dale Earnhardt fan, and he was far from a saint as well. Great stream. I'm off to bed. I still have to work in the morning, says Mark Martin fan for life too. Yeah, I do too, but I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to be a little bit late for work tomorrow, like I always am. Jamie Thornton, thanks, BB. I'm sure nobody wants to hear about my stories. LOL. Everyone has something to deal with. You make NASCAR season better. Thanks for the info. PC gone rogue. Interesting to see what JGR has going on and does in the future. When those two guys step down, that's going to be super interesting. I really, for the life of me, thought Sammy Smith was going to be the future over there, and then he went to race with Junior Motorsports, and so I thought that was interesting because I thought for sure he was going in that 11 car. Let's see. Thank you, BB, for all you do, man. I feel it, but we appreciate you, what you do, the Discord, the members, everyone on YouTube here. I love that you got 10K. Me too, man. It's awesome. You guys are all awesome. When will you get to be a guest on NWP again? I don't know. They might have me on there one day soon. Hey, Mr. BB, it's good to see you back streaming. What do you think of the new bodies of the Ford Mustang and the Toyota Camrys? I think they're both fast, man. I think, and this is early in the season, I think by midway through the season, I think you're going to see them surpass Chevrolet in speed, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're both really fast. And I think they're going to be fast at different tracks, but they're definitely both fast at Daytona for sure. Say, Kyle, make sure you hit that like button before you head out, everyone. Great winter BB stream on Pop-Tarts was my favorite. Yeah, the Pop-Tart stream was pretty good. I've met him 3 times, but I never asked him about any of that. Hey, go ahead and ask him next time. He's not shy about it. I tell you what, when I go to Daytona, I got a story I'll share with you. I don't want to put it anywhere else, but I'll just remind me, and I'll share the story with you. Blueberry is still the best, says Shy. Documentary in progress. I am working on I'm working on the Win Cup documentary, and then after that, I'll just go ahead and tell you, I'm working on a Ford Thunderbird documentary. So it's going to be the last days of the Win Cup, and then I got a Ford Thunderbird documentary, and those are going to be the next longer form. They're going to be longer, like much longer than you're used to, but they are going to be good. And if they're not good, I'll know by views. But I am working on some bigger projects, and hopefully we'll get those done fairly soon. I've got one more location I've got to go to for filming for the Thunderbird one. And if I ever get enough free time, Daytona is a super busy week, but hopefully this will be the week that I get I'll get the one done on the Win Cup Museum, and then I'll be able to move on to the other ones, which is obviously going to be the Nissan project, the Fiat project, and my limited late model. So let's see. Blueberry is still the best, says Shy. One wise guy said Fiat. Yeah, so Fiat's in there. Fiat's in the mix. It's what did I say? That's the third. They should be the third one, the third or fourth one on the list. Jimmy Thornton, say Kyle, one of the coolest things to me are how honest and down to earth these drivers are. They will tell you about anything. Some of the coolest drivers are some of the most hated as well. Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure. Let's see. I think, and I'll tell you what, some of the drivers you hate the most are like so much nicer than you would imagine, and sometimes it can be vice versa. I'm not going to get into all that because that's I'm not here to gossip. I think Fords will be fast come midway through the season. They will catch up to Chevys in due time. I think they'll pass Chevys for sure about midway through the season, and I think Toyota might already be there. Okay, I'm done bugging you. LOL, says one wise guy. You're not bugging me, man. Like it just, even my buddy Craig that I work for on the late model side of things. He's like, you are the slowest working human being I've ever seen in my life. So it's not you, it's me. I work at a pace and I don't speed up. He's like, you never slow down. He's like, you just never speed up. So don't worry about it. I know it's me. If you need any help with the Nissan project, hit me up. I've got a connection with them in Nismo. Actually, I will. So I'll actually hit you up about that because it's going to be an interesting project. I'll just wonder if they want to be involved with it. It's not, that one's actually super inexpensive, which is going to be part of the challenge. So all right, looks like we've reached the end of the stream. So I appreciate it. Until next time, peace.